This is Whiskey Whereabouts. I'm Tim, and I got my hands on samples of all 8 2024 Diageo Special Releases. I split them up into 2 blind tasting flights of 4, and I chose a winner from each. So we're down to 2 finalists, and today we're going to find out what is the best special release of 2024. My whiskey journey has taken me to Scotland and back. I've explored whiskey education, tastings, and distilleries from Islay to Speyside. And now my journey continues here, with you, on Whiskey Whereabouts. So if you're not already familiar, Diageo every year releases cask strength special releases. They're limited, one-off, annual releases. 8 of the single malts in their portfolio. The distilleries change each year. They rotate in and out. Because it's college football season here in the U.S., I decided to take those samples of those 8 special releases and then pit them against each other in a sort of series of what we're calling the Special Release Bowl series to pit them against each other and find a winner. And that's what we are going to do today. Let's meet the competitors. First off is the winner of the Peat Bowl. If you didn't see it, I'll put the link right up here. It was the first of this series of 3 videos. And the winner was Caol Ila, the Ambrosial Feast. This is 11-year Caol Ila. It is 57.3% ABV whiskey. It was refill and rejuvenated American and European oak wine cask matured. Diageo uses the term rejuvenated to talk about an STR-like process. This is a process by which we'll see the distilleries try to get some more life out of cask. They shave off the inner layer, toast it, rechar it. And so this is the first appearance of Caol Ila in the special releases in 6 years, since 2018. And the big thing about this release is that it is unpeated Caol Ila. And despite that, it managed to win the Peat Bowl. Challenging that special Caol Ila for the title is the winner of the Barley Bowl. If you missed that one, link right up here. And that was a flight of unpeated whiskeys. 3 out of 4 were Speysiders, 1 Highland whiskey. And the winner was Roseisle, the Origami Kite 2. This is Roseisle's second appearance as a special release, and this is 12-year whiskey, 55.6%, and it was refill matured and first fill bourbon matured. Before I opened any of these bottles, I just informally ranked the whiskeys in the set, and just using the price tags and the age statements. And I had ranked Caol Ila 4 and Roseisle 5, so we've lost some higher ranked, sort of higher expectation whiskeys, bigger age statements, much bigger price tag. Speaking of price, the price on these bottles can vary really dramatically based on just demand and how much of it is out there. So there's some MSRP dollar amounts that I use just as reference for the price tags on these whiskeys. And I had the Caol Ila at about $110 and the Roseisle at about a $150 price. Okay, so we have the blue glasses out. The whiskeys have been placed randomly. I don't know which one is which. You do. I'm going to start on this side as I always do. I really kind of went through and noted the whiskeys in the first 2 rounds. I'm just going to kind of get my general sort of impression of the whiskeys and share it with you, working my way up to picking a winner. So starting over here, whiskey number 1. Okay, so I remember these whiskeys from the prior videos. Rich, not hot. That is definitely the case here. A lot of rich flavor. Nose it as long as you like. Even at that sort of ABV, pretty comfortable. What's jumping out of the glass at me is nutty, orchard fruit, apple. There's more there. Rich. Very nice nose. Checking in with whiskey number 2. Okay, so this one is brighter, not sharper. Also rich. Almost no heat at all here. For what little was over here is really on the nose. Very, very approachable. This one's, I would say, leads a little sweeter, but it is a chocolate caramel, and there is a coconutty element to this. We've got whiskeys that have a lot of overlap here. They are 1 year apart in age. They are very close on ABV. And, you know, we have Isla and Speyside, but we have unpeated Isla. And so there's not a huge gap here. The big difference, I think, is in that sort of rich, a sort of a deeper, I think, richness here, and a brighter sweetness here. Might come down to preference, but I would say that I would pick the nose on whiskey number 1 for nose. So let's go in on the palate now. Whiskey number 1. Nice mouthfeel, big ABV whiskey. Here's a little heat, pepper tingle, especially on that center of the tongue when you're holding it, kind of trying to unpack it. There's a nuttiness, definitely. There is I was talking about overlap. I think I was talking about, you know, chocolate and caramel over here on the nose. Definitely getting that on the palate here. There's a minty, fresh kind of element that's nice. Go back for whiskey number 2 on the palate now. A little less presence of the heat on the palate. The fruit element on this side. There's a lot of the similar, it's vanilla. It does have a buttery quality to it. Peachy, maybe almost tropical fruit, which is a nice contrast. But it kind of goes with the difference, I think, on the noses. It's a little bit of richer on whiskey number 1, a little bit of the more brightness, the little bit, just the sweetness is a little bit more fruit forward over here. Again, very close. Better mouthfeel here. I don't know if it's higher ABV, it's just the quality, the way it's presenting. Nice and rich. This has a lot of what this one has, and it does have a little bit of a contrasting element. It's a really close call. Let's check out the finish on whiskey number 1. Seems like maybe it's gonna be medium to long, and it keeps kind of receding. So I would say long. Finish, nice. Coffee ground bitter. Not as sharp, sort of just straight oak tannin bitter. Vanilla honey sweet. There's some spice to it. There's, you know, is that minty element there again? Something contrasts. It's low in the mix. A very nice finish here. Whiskey number 2 on the finish. Not as long. Medium too long, though. It's not a short finish at all. And it is very nice succession. So it comes in really oak bitter. It's not great. It's a little dominant. And it comes in with a sort of chocolate, sort of sweet, balancing it, which is nice. You know, ginger, you know, that pretty dominant in the finish. And as it recedes, it doesn't just drop off a cliff. It kind of pivots, and it gets the bitter mellows into like a coffee ground bitter, which is nice, and it's a little offset by a honey sweet. A nice finish here. From whiskey number 2, I think it's whiskey number 1 on the finish. So not a lot of deliberation needed when we only have 2 whiskeys. We have 3 rounds of scoring. The winner of the 2024 Diageo Special Release Bowl Series is whiskey number 1, which I believe to be the Caol Ila. It is the circle sticker, which is the Caol Ila. The Ambrosial Feast is the champion. But this was a very close flight of 2, not just because the sort of quality was close, but there was a lot of overlap between the 2 whiskeys and their character. But this one just had a richness and a depth on the nose, and the length and richness of the finish, I think, sort of puts it above this, you know, example that we have from Roseisle, a distillery. We don't have a lot of bottles out there to sample. So nice job for the Diageo Special Releases as an opportunity to showcase this Roseisle. I don't think it's an accident that it's been in the set for 2 years in a row in a similar presentation. This is the Origami Kite 2. So this has been a really nice showcase for this Roseisle. Couldn't topple even the unpeated Caol Ila. Caol Ila stands alone. And I hope you enjoyed this series of videos. If you have, make sure you subscribe. Hit this big button that's coming up right over here so you don't miss any of the videos coming in the future. And I'll see you on the next one.